What's up, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of the Sit Down. As always, if you enjoy this breaking news video, please make sure you hit that like button and let me know what you think of today's very interesting discussion in the comment section below. If you're new around here, you just haven't done it yet, or you're living under a rock and seeing this video for the first time, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button below now so you never miss another Sit Down video. If you're enjoying this content and would like to support me further, please hit that super thanks icon below the video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into another very interesting but sad organized crime topic. And over the last several hours, we have learned of another mob death. Gambino Consigliere, JoJo Corozzo, has died at the age of 83. Now, we have seen JoJo Corozzo in photos over the years, very much focused on his photos with John Gotti Sr. As many of us know, JoJo Corozzo, or maybe you don't know, was at one point John Gotti's driver, a job in which he didn't exactly want, according to an interview I did with Corozzo's former driver, Howie Santos. He would tell me that JoJo never really wanted that job, but he had to do what the boss said. Now, JoJo Corozzo was born in October of 1941, and he would grow up in Brooklyn. In fact, in his 20s and into his 30s, he would live on 84th Street in Canarsie. Now, as many of you also know, JoJo Corozzo had multiple brothers, all of which were either members or associates of the Gambino crime family. They would include Nick Corozzo, Blaze Corozzo, and Anthony Corozzo. Now, fun fact about Anthony Corozzo, he would actually be an actor at one point and had a small kind of extra role in The Sopranos. In fact, in season 1, he can be seen seated next to Tony Soprano. Now, the Corozzos all found their way into the life. Here they can be seen, from what I understand, about 10 years ago. JoJo can be seen on the far left. And there's one thing that you'll learn about the Corozzos, and something that I would find out as they came up under people like Fat Andy Ruggiano. JoJo Corozzo was a gigantic bookmaker. He was a loan shark. He was a guy who, for years, ran major bookmaking rings in not only Brooklyn, but Queens. And I would find that even into the late 60s and early 70s, there are indictments, newspaper articles pertaining to Mr. Corozzo being arrested for bookmaking. In fact, in one of the bookmaking cases in the late 70s, his brother Blaze would be involved as well. Now, at one point, it was said that Corozzo would become the acting consigliere of the Corozzo crew, which was headed by JoJo's brother, Nick Corozzo. And look, the truth is, we know Corozzo most from his job as a driver. Now, he would serve time in prison, JoJo Corozzo, in the mid-90s in a conspiracy case. And by the mid-90s, he was also made consigliere of the Gambino crime family after the incarceration of consigliere Frankie Lacasio. We all know Frankie Lacasio was involved with the last arrest for John Gotti. Now, we would see Mr. Corozzo on various surveillance photos. Thank you to LCN Blogspot for the photo. Here, Corozzo can be seen with handsome Jack Giordano, who was confined to a wheelchair, as I talked about in an episode that I did recently. Corozzo can be seen here at the wake of a Gambino member. I believe this is the funeral. I'm trying to remember. I believe this is the funeral of, let me think. I'm not sure it was ever stated. Possibly Grimalta, possibly. I forget offhand. But either way, Corozzo was seen on surveillance photos. He was then arrested in 2008, as we know, in something called Operation Old Bridge. Here, Corozzo can be seen with Charles Carneglia to the left and Frank Cali in front of him. In this, Joseph Corozzo was ultimately given 5 years in federal prison and released in 2016. One of the good things that Joseph Corozzo did was had a very successful son. His son, Joseph JoJo Jr., is an accomplished lawyer and for years represented not only him, but members and alleged associates of the Gambino crime family. He is a successful man, and as far as I know, Corozzo has other kids as well, none of which that had followed him into the life. This is the thing, guys, about the mob today. Some of these old members, guys that are in their 80s, eventually die off. And this is the latest in that line of folks. Nicky Corozzo, though, is still alive. In fact, he is 2 years older than his brother and is approximately 84 years old. Just a short one today. JoJo Corozzo dead at the age of 83. I thank you all for listening. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know what you think of JoJo Corozzo's legacy in the comments below. I will end this with, I did attempt to get Howie Santos here on the show just to get a couple of words from him about the death of one of his former mentors, quite frankly, but I was unable to secure it. Maybe we'll get to speak to Howie down the road. We'll see you next time here on the Sit